Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, for today, let's take a look at what footballer of every age had an absolutely god-awful 2019. Let's crack into it. 18, Bobby Duncan. Yeah, 2019 was the year where Bobby Duncan chucked his once promising career in a blender. Listen, Bobby, alright? It happens to the best of us. I was once on my way to becoming a well-respected journalist, instead of taking pot shots at teenagers' careers on the internet. Listen, I hope Duncan turns it around, I really do. But, oh god. Right, he was an up-and-coming superstar striker in the FA Youth Cup winning Liverpool team. For Christ's sake, he was Steven Gerrard's cousin. That is almost enough to win you specialist treatment for life at that club. I wouldn't be surprised if the tea lady was sneaking him extra scones, if the physio was tossing him a sneaky happy ending. I mean, the things they'd probably do for that boy at that club, purely because he shares the same blood as their Champions League winning captain. But still, no, his agent, the same man in charge of Saido Berahino's career, essentially accused Liverpool of mentally bullying his client before getting him a move to Fiorentina. Yeah, perfect move for an unknown teenager struggling to make his way in the game. Chuck him on a plane to a foreign country with an entirely different language and culture. He probably doesn't even know how to cook. The poor fella is probably stuck in an Italian box room, living off a diet of pot noodles and empty tins of dog food. Oh wait, it's my life. 19, Moise Kean. Fair play to Moise Kean. That man must have the thickest skin on the planet. Most 19-year-olds, if they'd had the year he'd had, they'd have probably spent 6 months crying underneath the bed, only resurfacing every 3 days to update their Snapchat filter. Actually, if the average 19-year-old was earning those wages, they'd probably be found dead in a ditch covered in 3 kilos of ket. My point anyway, right? Keane spent the first 6 months of 2019 sitting on the Juventus bench, then getting racially abused by Cagliari fans, and instead of receiving wholehearted support from his teammates, instead he had Leonardo Bonucci pointing the finger of blame at him. So he escapes the racism in Italy by moving to England. Which is a bit like leaving a rave early because you had a headache, to instead spend 3 hours listening to Cardi B. So not only has he been a £30 million flop who hasn't scored a goal, he was dropped from a squad for 1 game because he was late to a team meeting and got hauled off the pitch after 18 minutes by Duncan Ferguson. It's 2020 now, right? New year, new me? I mean, let's hope so, because if it's not a new me for Moise Kean, he'll probably feel like shooting himself in the face. 20, Brahim Diaz. Well, I hope Brahim Diaz took up a few extra hobbies in 2019, because it's not as if he played much football. This is a man who justified walking out of Pep Guardiola and Man City at the height of their powers because he wanted to taste the first team football. So he chooses to sign up for 6.5 years at Real Madrid. The footballing epitome of instability, changing managers, fluid ownership, and most of all, top players being forced to rot on the bench. I'm sorry, but if Gareth Bale, a 4-time Champions League winner, was finding it hard to get a game, then what chance do you have? Some City nobody with 5 senior games under his belt? The £15 million signing has made just 5 starts for Madrid, and none since May. Christ, he must feel like whacking his head off a fridge. 21, Daniel Arzani. Poor old Daniel Arzani. It's just been a bit of a non-event of a year for him. The Celtic winner has just spent 2019 sitting in the treatment room trying to recover from a torn ACL. So not only did he not play a single minute of senior football throughout the year, he also missed out on representing Australia at the 2019 Asian Cup. On the face of it, you might think, what's the problem? He just spent the year earning £15,000 a week doing all. Considering job seekers down the dole earn less than 80 quid a week, he's essentially one life. 22, Malcolm. There were a few that could have chosen for 22. Luka Jovic has stunk up the place at Real Madrid, but it was also the year he lit up the Bundesliga, did well in the Europa League, and was rewarded with the dream move of his life. So I won't pick him. Dominic Solanke, I could. He began the year with a £20 million move to Bournemouth. It's an entire 12 months later and he's still waiting for his first goal, with Bournemouth firmly wedged in the relegation zone. But still though, alright, step forward, Malcolm. The first half of 2019 was bad enough, warming the Barcelona bench, not doing much. Then he was given a £40 million move to Zenit St. Petersburg and was greeted with racist abuse by his own fans.
Racist Zenit St. Petersburg fans protest over signing of Malcolm as banner. Barcelona, Malcolm could leave Zenit after Ultra's racist banner.
These are your own fans. Your own fans are supposed to support you, not shower you with abuse. It's like being born, and then instead of your mother immediately showering you with love and affection, she instead just chucks you headfirst into a microwave the second she gets home. I still have the bastard scars. Anyway, as if that wasn't bad enough, a hip injury has just restricted him to just over an hour of football for Zenit. Absolute nightmare. 23, Joelinton. Yep, step forward, Joelinton. This man is a Newcastle United walking joke. A club record £40 million arrival at the club, doubling the club transfer record. Big things were expected of him, especially by a set of fans not really used to big money signings. It's like if Oliver Twist had suddenly been given the latest iPhone or a pair of Yeezys. You're damn right he's going to be excited. Newcastle fans were practically tossing themselves off onto the dinner table at the very thought of a Brazilian number 9. And then he responded by scoring just once before Christmas. We're 24 games into Joe Linton's nightmare reign of terror, and he has 2 goals in 24 games, with one of them being a tap-in at home to a League One opposition. Christ! This was a headline earlier in the year.
Joe Linton hopes to follow role model Roberto Firmino into next Brazil squad.
Considering the proud history of footballing stars that country has produced, it's a bit like if Eminem's next album was just him coughing into the mic. I'll tell you what, big man, right? The day you get an international cap for Brazil is the day I walk through Newcastle town centre wearing a goddamn dress. 24, Thomas Lemar. World Cup winning Thomas Lemar has been an utter flop at Atletico Madrid. The man cost 60 million quid 18 months ago, and his end product is 2 goals and 3 assists in 46 games. This man has contributed to just 5 goals in nearly 50 games, and none this season. He's currently been offered to any club chairman with a working pulse. Oh, by the way, lads, this is your mid-season annoying reminder to, try and smash that subscribe button. Trying to hit 400k as possible. So if you do subscribe, you'd be an absolute legend, just like the rest of them. Anyway, carrying on. 25, Benjamin Mendy. Oh, it's been a rough year for Benjamin Mendy. To be fair, he has spent the year working as a part-time Man City cheerleader, or at least that's what it seems like. He spent the majority of the year on the sidelines. When he has played, he's looked unfit, lazy, and signed off the year with one of the worst performances I've ever seen in a Man City shirt. Essentially single-handedly burning his club's title bid with a late defeat to Wolves. He's also been the subject of a racism scandal with his best friend. His social media antics have grown weary. Now that everyone has essentially written him off as a £50 million waste of money. Yeah, dancing around on social media, I mean, I guess it's funny and endearing when you're actually performing on the pitch, but when you start costing your club league titles, then your social media antics become about as entertaining as pig mucus. 26, Emre Can. Well, this has not been a good year for Emre Can. This was the year he's pretty much left in the cupboard under the stairs at Juventus, completely omitted from Maurizio Sarri's Champions League squad, which is pretty much the ultimate insult to an established 26-year-old footballer.
Last week the club promised me something else. Yesterday the coach called me and told me in less than a minute that I was not in the squad. I'm shocked and angry.
The latest news is that he's apparently rejected Manchester United out of respect for Liverpool. See, Michael Owen, this is how you conduct yourself with a bit of dignity and, shred of human decency for your former employers. Not take a ceremonial dump all over the club which made you by moving to their bitter rivals on a free. 27, Shokran Mustafi. Oh, Shokran Mustafi has had a nightmare 2019. He's literally the king of blunders. Like in a damaging 3-2 home defeat to Crystal Palace in April, he's found himself dropped, limited to just 3 appearances this season. And while clearly Arsenal fans, they don't really appreciate his current employment. The lad is a World Cup winner and yet has spent 2019 defending like Titus Bramble after half a pack of blue Smarties. I wasn't allowed those as a child. Then again, I wasn't allowed treatment for medical infections either. It's a wonder I'm still alive. I had polio twice. 28, Jean-Michel Seri. What has happened to Jean-Michel Seri's career? In 2018, the lad was getting linked with Barcelona. Xavi was tipping him for the club. Surely, I mean, that should now just be seen as a permanent black mark against Xavi ever getting the managerial job. He was trying to get them to sign Jean-Michel Seri, and I had struggled to get into a Fulham side hurtling towards relegation. So yeah, the big money signing sees off 2 managers of Fulham and gets relegated to the Championship. Ties up a loan move to Galatasaray. Has been a massive disappointment for Fatih Turin. Oh, Seri, what has happened to you? 29, Danny Drinkwater. Again, like, Danny Drinkwater has just spent the year earning £100,000 a week, despite being a very limited footballer, while I'm stuck in a dimly lit cave, swapping dignity and daily showers for Paul McShane rents. So who's the real winner here? He has enough money to buy my life and force me to lick his boots clean for a month, but still, if we're talking playing terms, he's not really done anything. 11 minutes of Premier League football for Burnley. That's it. Oh yeah, and playing 90 minutes in a cup defeat to Sunderland. That is it. That is the entire summation of Danny Drinkwater's 2019. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm being disingenuous. Of course, there's more to it than that.
Danny Drinkwater beaten up by thugs after trying to chat up rival player's girl. Danny Drinkwater banned for drink driving after crashing into wall.
Danny Drinkwater's 2019, everyone. 30, Gareth Bale. There's been highlights for Gareth Bale this year, like Wales qualifying for Euro 2020, but as a whole, it's been a year you'd probably rather forget. What's happened this year? Like, well, no trophies for a start, getting repeatedly booed by his own fans, having his manager publicly admit that he wants him gone, saw a £1 million a week move to China break down, had club legends question his grasp of the language, and for some reason his love of golf. He's even said it himself, he is not happy at Real Madrid. And to be honest, I don't blame him. 31, Alexis Sanchez. This year has been laughable for Alexis Sanchez. It was only a couple of years ago this man was one of the most dangerous forwards on the planet, and getting linked with a swap deal for Raheem Sterling at Man City. Now you wouldn't even swap a ham sandwich for him. Christ, he's been dreadful. The guy who scored just 1 goal. 1. In the whole of 2019. Just 1. He spent the first half of the year warming the bench under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the latter stuck on the sidelines with Inter Milan. He's played just 3 league games, none since September, had his fitness questioned by Antonio Conte, oh yeah, and had his statue vandalized in Chile. But then again, to be fair, that was in 2020. 32, Joe Hart. The entire year has been an utter waste of time for Joe Hart. Don't forget, he went to Burnley to play games, didn't he? Otherwise, what was the point? He could have just picked up a fat paycheck stuck in the stands at Man City. He's on to his third club since being outcast by Guardiola, and nothing has improved. If anything, it's gotten worse. This is a 2-time Premier League champion, a 4-time Golden Glove winner, a man with 75 caps for his country, and yet finds himself a sticky shampoo stain on the Burnley bench. He didn't play a single minute of top-flight football in 2019. Not one. 33, Aidan McGeady. Look, it's been a weird year for Aidan McGeady. Yeah, he scored a few goals in League One, but it's also the year he was finally told that he had no future at Sunderland after he was spotted stuffing his face with a Big Mac straight after a defeat to Gillingham. Not great. 34, Mario Gomez. Well, this is the year Mario Gomez's career got stuck down a well. Experienced German striker, got relegated with Stuttgart, and he's now slumming it on the benches down the back arse of German second tier. Not great, lads. Not great. 35, Fernando Torres. To be fair, Fernando Torres was only a footballer for one half of 2019, finishing up in June. I don't know what he did for the rest of the year. Probably just looking back on his old scrapbooks from his time at Liverpool and crying into a pillow. Listen, great footballers should retire with pride and dignity still intact. Not like this, not out the back arse of Japan, getting turned over 6-1 in his last ever professional game. It's like a world-renowned singer playing out their last gig in front of 3 men and a half-eaten cat. It's like an esteemed legendary actor like Robert De Niro signing off a brilliant career with a cameo in Mrs. Brown Boys. Christ, that would make you sick in your mouth. Likewise, this was an embarrassing end for Torres. I'm not sure how he could look Andres Iniesta in the eye after this game. 36, Yaya Toure. I almost went with Daniel De Rossi, who spent half the year stuck in the Boca Juniors bench, but no, step forward Yaya Toure. He began the year by confusing the world on live television with a hilariously lopsided Ultimate 11 comprised of his former teammates, sticking Aguero in centre mid, Henry at left wing back, and Iniesta as the only defensive midfielder. That alone essentially ensured Toure will never be offered a role in management. To be fair, he was probably daydreaming about birthday cakes. Anyway, he went jobless until May, only to sign up for some weird club down the back of China's second tier, where he's barely played. 37, Wes Hoolahan. I almost went with Petr Cech, who signed off a 20-year career with a Europa League final humiliation against his former club. A bit like celebrating your retirement party, only to be embarrassed in front of all of your colleagues and your family by your ex-wife turning up to show everyone photos of your tiny dick. Instead, I'm gonna go for Wes Hoolahan. He barely played for West Brom, only to sign up with Newcastle Jets out in Australia, only for him to rule himself out of action for 4 months with an ankle injury. Poor old Wes. 38, Herrero Gomez. Alright, I spared Petr Cech for embarrassing himself in a cup final. Not Herrero Gomez, you don't escape this one, lad. This should have been the greatest goodbye. Gomez had already hinted he'd be off after the FA Cup final. And by off, I mean retirement. And what a way to go, winning the club's first trophy in decades in your final game in football. Amazing. And then he goes and concedes 6. A result so embarrassing that he actually then backtracked on retiring. Probably because he didn't want his last memory in football to be that. So back to 9 more months of being stuck on the bench. 39, Artur Boruc. Yeah, really easy, Artur Boruc. He spent the year stuck on the sidelines at Bournemouth, unable to dislodge 20-year-olds in the team. Got told off for attending a Legia Warsaw game just hours before Bournemouth kicked off. Yeah, not great. 40, Tim Cahill. Look, it was very hard to find a 40-year-old footballer still playing in 2019. Tim Cahill did for about 5 minutes out in India with Jahatspor. I don't know, remember what I said about retiring with dignity? Yeah. 41, Gianluigi Buffon. Look, the fact that Gianluigi Buffon is still going strong at Juventus, a club he signed for before Mason Greenwood was born, it's impressive. But understandably, he is quite clearly past his best. He was only wheeled out for a few games at PSG last season, one of which coincided with him making a couple of terrible errors in that infamous Champions League exit against Man United. He should probably retire soon. Anyway, that's the end of the video, lads. What do you think? Let me know. Any other players who had a terrible 19, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.